Welcome back, everybody, to another Real Chums review. We are back at it with Daredevil Born Again, episodes 1 and 2.
Season premiere. We're going to try to keep this a little bit tighter.
But before we do, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button. Here on YouTube, we do reviews like these. We do trailer reactions. We also have a weekly podcast that comes out every Sunday. So, yeah, follow along and comment. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, and let's keep the conversation going.
This was a show that I was very excited for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were pushing it hard. I felt like there was they were pushing it, and I think part of it is because they wanted to hopefully bring back after 7 years.
Has it been 7 years?
It's I think it's 7 years. I think when I was looking at some of the material. So, I think they were trying to, re-invite the fire for people with all the marketing. So, I want to start off with the million-dollar question. Did you enjoy the first 2 episodes?
I enjoyed seeing these characters again. I love seeing Daredevil, Matt Murdock, and Charlie Cox, really embrace this character. Obviously, Vincent is incredible as Fisk.
Yeah.
So, I enjoy, for the most part, I did. What I didn't like was just the CGI in that fight sequence.
In the first episode?
Yes.
Okay, this is where I want to... No, we will talk about this. I have lots of thoughts.
It was... it was too much CGI for what I'm used to in Daredevil.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that they're leaning more into the acrobatic aspect of Daredevil, which is something that has lacked in the Netflix series. But it just didn't look as clean as I would have expected it to. If you're going to go in that direction, clean it up, make it look.
I felt like it was too clean. I felt like it was too staged.
Yeah, but there's the first shot when he's in the air and then he lands on the roof, it looked weird. I even rewind and I was like, that looks odd. I was just like, that is off. That's this. It was just too weird.
I'm sure.
But I love the direction that it's going. It feels like the Netflix show, but it's not quite the Netflix show. And it also you also see that it has a bigger budget because it looks too. Something that was really unique about the Netflix one, and I've always said it felt almost like a I was watching a long episode of a David Fincher production.
Okay.
Gritty,
yeah.
Even the cinematography, the way the camera, the use of camera, and obviously the wonders with the fight sequence that they do. It felt like it was a David Fincher production.
Yeah. Whereas
Whereas this one feels too crisp and clean. In the setting, in the stage, even in how they're filming, and the CGI was just wonky. So it almost feels like Netflix Daredevil, but it's not. If that makes sense.
Okay, so I think I am excited for this series, and I think ultimately this comes down to the second episode. I think if you follow us on Instagram, you would have seen my little initial thoughts. The first episode is 100% a weird prelude that is the most staged performance. Let's try to do something cool, and some freaking exec had this great idea to do this thing, but the fake smoke and the cheesy backlit thing was just and it was extra. It was too clean, too clinical, and the wonder in it was so not. It was absolutely not. It was to me. If it wasn't for the second episode, I would have ripped this so hard. And ultimately, it was I have to not, because I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to give appreciation to the Netflix series.
Yeah.
They were trying to not only do that, but appreciate okay, he's in a newer phase. He has the full Billy Clubs, and we're trying to depict the Daredevil that we know in comics. And I see the sentiment, and for that reason, I'm okay with it.
Sure.
But when I look at it and I watch it, I'm like, too many moments. I'm like, why this doesn't feel right. I don't love this. I think one of the most weak scenes is when they start to do the one Daredevil and Bullseye are fighting in the pub, and then they've closed the doors, but the people are obviously just being instructed to and it's it just feels like they're on some sort of theater stage, and it just I don't know. It just didn't feel leading up to the death of Foggy, I feel like they did him dirty for that first episode. But
would you say your biggest issue is that fight sequence there?
I think the whole first episode is not. That's not my. It's not my. It's. I'm considering it as a prelude, and it's just setting the stage for where we're at.
Okay.
That's all it is. Second episode though, I felt a little bit more like, oh, okay, so because I was like, is this how the whole series is going to be?
Yeah.
Like in this weird, hyper like thing, and we're just gonna have a couple scenes here and there. No, I'm not here for this. I really appreciate that we get a little bit more of like, it's been a year. We get a time jump. I appreciate that he's doing more thing, but that he's this emotional time bomb.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? And ultimately, I felt like we feel more of what and I love that you brought this up. I think the cinematography and the storytelling that they used. There's two elements that in the original Daredevil Netflix series that were amazing. One was that I felt like they leveraged. It felt like New York without having to do an aggressive amount of New York. It always felt like they were always at like, up here, or like they're in these alleyways at night in Hell's Kitchen, like in the city grind. But and we didn't have to see a ton of the city. This one they're doing a little bit more. It's a little bit more during the day, and we haven't got to the Daredevil like evening stuff because he's put up the cowl, right? But I really appreciated that. I was like that as we get to the end sequence, that this is a Matt who is hurting and he's gonna hurt people, and I felt like the initial fight sequence that did come through feels good, and I'm hopeful that the rest of the series will be more semi in line with a little bit more budget and whatever and it feels more akin to the Netflix original stuff. And I should have to say the first episode was just like a weird prelude thing that they wanted to do something, I don't know, special and go from there.
Yeah, no, and I like the trajectory that we're on now with Matt Murdock, because in season 3 of Daredevil, Karen Page makes a comment of how like he should kill Wilson Fisk, and then Foggy says no, because if he crosses that line, Matthew won't be able to forgive himself, and he'll spiral and he'll go down this path that he will then resent us or whatever, right? Yeah. And now like that dialogue that he had, that Foggy and Karen have, hits so much more now, because he did push off Bullseye off the building with the intent of killing him. He survives, right? And so like, but because he didn't kill Wilson Fisk, Bullseye is out and about, and now Foggy dies, and so like it's creating this wonderful dynamic and this trajectory that we're putting Matt on, that I think it will be really exciting to see how the rest of the season plays out.
You also juxtapose against Fisk, who's trying to be the reformed.
This white knight coming to save New York.
Yeah, his wife has had to take on the empire, and is wondering why. Mm-hmm. I like that there's going to be this weird juxtaposition there, and I just think like I'm hopeful. I just want I'm excited to see what it goes. I will say the other thing is like I'm really mad that I just couldn't binge this whole.
I'm so mad that I couldn't binge it.
I like, because of all the other series. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that 1 and 2 I 100% binged like 2 weekends in a row. Like it was released, I watched it that first weekend it was released. Okay. Or the first, whenever it was released, and then I watched it the following weekend from beginning to end. And then I did that with season 2. Season 3 I didn't, just because there was other stuff that was happening, and it wasn't a priority. But I still really enjoyed it. And so for me, I will say, I think I can feel Charlie Cox's love for the character.
Yeah, 100%.
I love Vincent and his performance there. I do feel like this. I don't know who his new bodyguard is, and we don't have. This is something else that I feel like I don't know. I think this is more of the stylistic choice of the showrunners and the directors, and of how the Netflix series came. But I think we miss out on that refinement, the grittiness in those smaller, intimate, smaller moments in between with Vince, with Fisk and his bodyguard, as well as Matt and his interaction with other individuals. I just feel like they don't feel as connected or quite as real feeling as like. So perfect example. Matt going into the precinct and then finding his way into
The White Tiger.
the White Tiger,
Yeah.
um, uh, like holding whatever room to represent him.
Mm-hmm.
It felt too this, and we're out. It didn't carry the same like style. Some of the like, and I know this is a different style, this different crew, and everything. In those moments is where I feel the most like they're trying to find their own voice.
Sure, I think my biggest complaint is that we have isolated Wilson Fisk from Vanessa, which in a weird, twisted way, I love their relationship in the Netflix series because like it's this weird love, but like it's romantic.
Yeah,
in a eerie way, right?
Yeah.
And now that they're separated, I'm just kind of like, oh man. But here's something that this season is doing that I don't like. You take away Foggy and Karen, okay?
Yes.
Only to have them replaced by that one retired cop
Who knows that
he's there. And Kristen McDuffie, the other lawyer.
Yes.
So like in the earlier seasons of the Netflix series, one of them knows he's Daredevil, the other one doesn't know. So you basically replace these characters, Karen and Foggy, with these two new characters in the same dynamic that Karen and Foggy were in the Netflix series.
Agreed.
And that's what's kind of jarring because like I'm not invested in these characters.
Correct.
We've had 10 years of loving Foggy and Karen. If you're going to, because of the dynamic that they have, but you get rid of them just to have the same dynamic with two new characters, that's where I'm just feeling a bit disconnected at this point.
I agree.
And I think that goes to what you were saying. Like these intimate moments that the Netflix series did so well of Matt outside of the costume that is Daredevil continue to hit and resonate because they did a great job at developing the motives, the actions, and the decisions of those secondary characters in how it plays with Matt.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it just feels like that's basically Foggy and that's basically Karen, but it's not Foggy and it's not Karen.
Yeah. 100%. I guess I wanted to know, are you going to be watching this week to week or are you going to wait till the end?
I'm not going to watch it week to week. I know that they're going to do like one episode per week for like 2 weeks and then they're going to release like two.
Yeah, I forgot.
And they're going to go back to like one episode a week. So I think when they release the 2 in 1 week, I'll go back and rewatch.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know. I haven't decided. I think I will watch the next episode, and that will determine whether I'm going to wait till the end or not. And I think for me, it'll come down to like, is it going to continue to get into, they put the work in and they've felt it. Like I'm worried that like hoping that first episode was like one they shot forever ago and had to they just they're just like okay,
they reworked
or whatever, or like let's just do something fun or whatever, and that over the next episode it feels more in line with. And I'm not asking for the Netflix recreation. I'm just asking to have it feel in the sense of the grittiness and intimacy when it comes to how some of the story plays out. Different moments. And I'm not, I'm okay developing new characters to a degree. I do agree that like it actually hurts the show overall having to take out, Foggy dies in the first episode and then having Karen not there. She's, moved, and that to me is like a big like a loss.
It's fine that you do that. Like if you're going to kill off Foggy, I think that's a great way to like subvert our expectations and put Matt in this position. And if you're going to take away Karen, fine. Like, you isolate the character and have him find his path again. But you're not doing that. You're replacing Karen and Foggy with these two additional characters that I'm just like, if you're going to do that, you might as well just keep Karen and Foggy. Yeah, I'll watch this when more episodes come out. Yeah. I will say this, that there's a handful or a couple of reviewers and critics that have been able to see the whole season, and every single one has raved about it. Again, I think this would benefit from being able to binge the entire season. And I think that the reason those individuals are enjoying it is because they were able to binge it.
I couldn't agree more. I think that, honestly, that overall, this could be a great series to just release all at once, make it bingeable, have it be something that sets a new tone, a new conversation starter for Marvel, which they need, in my opinion. And having it being drawn out over a series of weeks, I'm not saying it's not going to have a conversation starter, but like, It's harder to find a time for adults to that may watch it when they have kids, and so they may lose some viewership on like a regular basis because they need to be a little bit more. They're like, I'm just gonna wait till it all comes out, or like you, I'm gonna wait till more episodes and then I'm gonna watch it. And so if all they care about is viewership numbers, why not release it all at once? So anyway, I don't know. That's just a couple 2 cents for me. I really want to know what you guys think. Did you guys have a hard time with the first episode as we did? Did you like the first episode? And did the second episode set a better tone or not for you?
Comment below, let us know, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
And we'll see you on Sunday.